Please, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. I'm a retired Sergeant Major, U.S. Army. I'm a Ranger first, and I'm a Ranger always. The most common attribute I see on the military evaluation report is selfless service. I chose a career path that placed me in a Ranger battalion. I served in Delta Force and as a detachment sergeant major in a Ranger regiment. Selfless service is what makes a good team great within the U.S. military. You won't find that in the corporate world. Selfless service is what an individual will do for the good of the team. Self-service is doing what is personal self-interest at the expense of the team. Recently, a U.S. Navy SEAL received a Congressional Medal of Honor by throwing himself on a grenade to protect his team. That's selfless service. While deployed to Somalia in 1993, commonly referred to as Black Hawk Down, 2 of my unit members received the Medal of Honor for asking to be inserted into a crash site to protect a pilot, knowing what their fate would be. That is selfless service, and combat effectiveness depends on it. It doesn't happen by accident. It must be taught with concentrated training, no distractions. Selfless service is reinforced with discipline and encouraged by the example of combat leaders. The Ranger way of life trained me for what I do now as the CEO of a company I started 3 years ago, Adventure Training Concepts. The concept is to use the U.S. Army training model to teach the value of teamwork during corporate team building and leadership development training. Our clients are diverse, men and women, adventure seekers of all ages, and I suspect some are homosexuals. All of them enjoy and benefit professionally from the lessons in teamwork taught by our programs. There's a notable difference, however, between the ATC environment and military units such as infantry, special operations forces, and submariners. On my facility, people learn about teamwork and leadership, but they do not share close, intimate living conditions comparable to those in the military. The differences is critically important and disregarded at great risk. In the civilian business world, decisions frequently are based on bonuses and job security. In the military environment, team cohesion, morale, and esprit de corps is a matter of life and death. Bonuses and job security come second to the reality of writing the hard letter home to a loved one or holding the hand of a teammate who is fighting for his or her life. In my 21 years of service in the U.S. Army, I sought and performed in as many leadership positions that I could. As a leader, my first obligation was to the nation. It meant keeping our soldiers ready for any situation for which our country called upon them. It meant taking care of each soldier I had the honor of leading. It meant being fair and impartial to every soldier. It also meant keeping the soldiers under my charges safe, secure, trained, equipped, and informed as I possibly could. And on their behalf, I would respectfully like to say that in this time of war, I find it surprising that we are here today to talk about this issue of repealing the 1993 law. Our soldiers are overtasked with deploying, fighting, redeploying, refitting, and deploying again. These brave men and women have achieved what many Americans thought impossible. With all the important issues that require attention, it is difficult to understand why a minority faction is demanding that their concerns be given priority over more important issues. As a U.S. Army Ranger, I perform long-range patrols in severe cold weather conditions, teams of 10, with only mission-essential items in our back. No comfort items. The only way to keep from freezing at night was to get as close as possible for body heat, which means skin to skin. On several occasions, in the close quarters that a team lives, any attraction to the same-sex teammates, real or perceived, would be known and would be a problem. The presence of openly gay men in these situations would elevate tensions and disrupt unit cohesion and morale. Repealing the 1993 law will not help us win this war on terrorism or any conflict that our military is called upon to fight and win in the future. Too much time is being spent on how we can hinder our great men and women in the military. Let's do all we can do to lift their morale, give them more resolve, and motivate them to continue the absolutely great job they are doing. I hope that this Congress will not make their jobs more difficult and dangerous. They already are by repealing the solid law that continues to support the morale, discipline, and readiness of our troops. Thank you.